right from the beginning, we were thinking, it was like, okay, how are you going to get that second order? How are you going to get that third order? What are you going to, sell them next? And blah, 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 like thinking of it like you would someone subscribing to a publication, right? And again, this is another lesson I learned and I've seen throughout the years is so many companies are just so focused on getting that first order, that new customer. And they don't think about what are you going to do next? How are you going to build that lifetime value?
Did you have skin in the game when you that campaign?
And that was an actual business launch. And that was quite a while ago. It was a few decades ago. I was actually an employee at the time for a major publisher. And this is going to make me sound very, very old. It was like one of the first supplement businesses. Actually, it was the first one that a publisher had launched. And that has now become, over the years, a very big common thing in the US, where now a lot of the more traditional publishers, their supplement businesses are bigger than their publishing. So we had the first alternative health newsletter that had just taken off in the US. And this was back in the early 90s. And I had joined the company right after that. And what we found is, we were doing all this back end. What do they want to buy? What's in this alternative health space? Let's sell them this or that. What we found is that they're just, and this is again, listen to your customers, right? Listen to them. What we kept, and I would read customer letters all the time that would come in, like, what are the subscribers saying? And they wanted to take Dr. Whitaker's own formulas. And they knew that he had his own one that he gave patients at his clinic. And so we basically decided we're going to launch a supplement business. And everybody thought it was crazy at the time. Like, wait, you're a publisher, And no one else really in the company wanted to do it. But they asked me to do it and be like the marketing director. And I'm like, okay, let me do it. I only been there like 6 months. And within like 2-3 months, we got the whole thing up and running. We had like some core products that we sold, and coming from a subscription-based business, right from the beginning, we were thinking, it was like, okay, how are you going to get that second order? How are you going to get that third order? What are you going to, sell them next? And blah, 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 like thinking of it like you would someone subscribing to a publication. And again, this is another lesson I learned and I've seen throughout the years is so many companies are just so focused on getting that first order, that new customer. And they don't think about what are you going to do next? How are you going to build that lifetime value? And especially when it's a consumable product. So right out of the gate, we had everything fleshed out, all the follow-ups, how we going to, get them on an auto ship, whatever it was. And that's what really helped that grow so quickly. And then at the same time, we added more products. But within 3 years, it was 23 million, which is 38 million in today's dollars. Wow. And that was just going to the one list, about 300,000 people on his subscriber list. And that was before they started taking it to outside list, et cetera. So much of that was focusing on listening to giving people what they want and then thinking about the longer term view, not just getting that initial sale.
Do you feel, because obviously that is like in a very super specific niche in its own right. So yeah. Do you feel as a copywriter, it's important to niche, or do you think you can write for anybody?
Well, I think I could write for anybody. I mean, I've been doing this long enough and I have written a pretty wide range of things. I mean, all in the B2C space, business to consumer. I think there is a point where it makes sense to niche. I think initially, I don't think you have to worry about it. I mean, let's face it, like if you're just getting started, you're going to be like, well, I really want to do supplements, and then something's going to come along. Are you going to just turn it away if you don't have any work like for the next 3 months? No, you might as well take it on. And honestly, I took just a whole bunch of different types of projects initially. I mean, a lot of people wanted to hire me to do supplements because I had left the company where I had, launched the supplement business. And so I already had a reputation for that. But I mean, I did fundraising things for museums. I did something called a space bag. Like was where, something you fold your clothes in and flatten it, or, I wrote copy for so many different types of things. And I think it was a really great training ground. I think it made me more versatile as a copywriter and just being able to jump in. Okay, what do I need to know about this? What's the market? Who's the customer? What's so unique about this product? Boom, let me, and those are great skills to develop, So I think actually I would say, work on a wide range of things. And then after several years, it was like, I was doing mostly health and financial. And then it got to the point where it's like hardly ever doing any financial. And when I had a financial project come along, I'd have to be like, oh my God, what's going on in the market? What do I need to do? Like it was like too much time to get restarted. So I was like, I'm just going to stick to health and supplements. That was right before the 2008 financial crash. And I was like, ooh, that was smart because a lot of people writing in that niche weren't getting projects, and it was a good time to get out.